When you look at the top prospects traded so far this offseason, the majority of them are now with the Miami Marlins as they've been very active.
They have. I mean, anybody who follows me on Twitter knows I'm not the biggest fans of the moves they made with Giancarlo Stanton and with Marcell Ozuna. But if you're ranking the prospects like I am, who've been acquired this offseason, the Marlins are dominating the list. They got Sandy Alcantara as the best player in the Marcell Ozuna trade. And he's really interesting. He had some of the best pure stuff in there's on Fall League. He could throw in the upper 90s. He had one of the best changeups in the league when it was on. He also won the best sliders in the league when it was on. He hasn't always missed as many bats and dominated as much as you think, and he might wind up being a reliever, but it's a real interesting arm. And then Jorge Guzman, who was the best prospect they got in the Giancarlo Stanton trade, he's really interesting. Now, he hasn't pitched in full season ball yet, and a lot can go wrong with a pitcher. You know, he's 4 or 5 levels away from the major leagues. But in terms of pure stuff, I mean, this is one of the hardest throwing starters in the minors. He's 97 to 103 consistently. And for a guy who was thought when the Yankees acquired him the year earlier in the Brian McCann trade, he was thought to be pretty raw. You know, the changeup and slider are coming along, and he threw more strikes than expected. So they're interesting guys. I think they should have probably got more in those trades, but they did get 2 really interesting arms.
Before they traded Stanton and Ozuna, they made the D. Gordon trade. Another interesting piece came from that.
Yeah, I like Nick Neidert. I thought that was probably, if you're ranking the trades in terms of how equitable they were from Miami's side, I thought that was maybe the most equitable trade. Nick Neidert's not going to light up the radar gun like the other 2 guys we just talked about, but he's a better pure pitcher. He's low 90s with some sink, good secondary pitches, throws a lot of strikes. Got hit a little bit when he got up to Double-A this year, but he's also very young for the level. He probably has the highest floor of those guys. You could see Alcantara and Guzman maybe being relievers, while Neidert, I think, is a pretty good bet to be a starter.